The Israelite movement is the correct movement for black folks, not the nation. Hop on the line. Let me send you this. I sent you a receipt. I mean a request. Ab Judah. Let's talk about that. Great subject. That's a great subject. Matter of fact, I want to pin that, but I ain't gonna knock my little pin. Ab Judah says the Israelite movement is the correct movement for black folks, not the Nation of Islam.
I'll turn my light on, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your participation and thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
Ab Judah, you said the Israelite movement is the correct movement for black folks, not correct. The Nation of Islam.
That's correct.
Can you give us your receipts and your accomplishments and your reason for saying that?
Okay, yes, sir. I'm a member of IUIC, Israel United in Christ, and we believe that 12 tribes of Israel, which is, to sum it up, the Native Americans, the blacks, and the Hispanics, are the chosen people of this world, and everybody else, like the Asians, the Arabs, the white people, the white folks, so-called white man, the people, India, Indonesia, all them type of people, that the Asiatics, they're not included, and because we fall under a curse, essentially. If you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, it's in the Bible. It talks about the curses that we fall under: curse in the field, curse in the city. You grew up in Los Angeles, one of the most violent cities ever. What goes on in Los Angeles every day? Gang violence, Bloods and Crips, even to this day. That's a curse. So
not to cut you off, but I asked you a specific question. So you said the Israelite movement is the correct movement for black folks and not the Nation of Islam. Why is that?
Because it was founded by the Arabs, and we were part of the Arab slave trade. That's why.
What was founded by the Arabs?
The religion of Islam.
Do you know what Islam means?
Well, I don't know the exact definition of the word, sir.
What then how do you know that something was founded by somebody if you don't even know, you don't have the knowledge of what you're arguing about?
Well, because from what we studied, right?
Did you study the meaning of Islam?
No. I studied the King James Bible.
So
I never
why
read.
are you speaking on Islam if you don't know what it means?
Well, okay, that's reasonable. That's reasonable, but why don't you educate me and let me know what that word means then?
Well, do you apologize for falsely accusing or making public claims of something that you don't have the knowledge of? Do you think you should apologize for that first before you ask me what something means?
Absolutely. I do.
You do what?
I apologize, sir.
So Islam is just an Arabic word which means submission. Submission to the will of God. So as a Hebrew Israelite, do you practice submission to the will of God?
Yes. And we do that.
That means you're a Muslim.
No.
That means you practice Islam.
A simple submission of would just simply be keeping the commandments of the Most High.
That's called Islam, brother. That's called Islam. Did you know that?
Well, you just told me. You just told me just now.
Right. So hopefully this is a teachable, educational moment. If I tell you "Kam'S," what am I saying?
I don't know. What does that mean?
Exactly. It means what's your name. But if you argue with me and say no, it don't mean what's your name, I'll say "Kam'S," what's your name? We're saying exactly the same thing. You just don't know that language. So now you're making an argument that don't exist. You're actually making yourself look foolish because people that know what that word means know that you don't know what it means. And, we just let you hang yourself with your own ignorance publicly.
Have you ever read a scripture that talks about the worshiping of wood and stone in the Bible, sir?
Yes. Do Muslims worship wood and stone?
Stone stone. Don't they have stone monuments at those mosques over there in the Middle East?
What is Muslims worshiping that? What is that?
I'm
The house
I'm
of
I'm
is
I'm
the temple is the temple that you build with your hands. That's stone and wood, right?
correct.
Do you worship the house or do you worship in the house?
Worship in the house.
So what Muslims worship stone? I'm not aware of no Muslims that worship stone.
Well, in the Christian church, in a traditional Christian church, don't they use the cross to worship?
Do they worship the cross
Yeah.
or do they worship God and use
Well,
the cross as
they
their symbol?
they don't necessarily worship the cross, but
So you said something about
they
Muslims
use
worshiping
it
stone.
as a they use it as a symbolization, do they not?
The Christians or who?
The Christians, they use the cross as a symbolization.
Right. But do they
Right.
worship the cross?
No,
Do they pray to the cross?
no. They don't necessarily pray to the cross, but they use it as a symbol, as a symbolization, as part of the religion. That's what they do.
So we have a flag in Islam that's the sun, moon, and star.
Okay.
Do we worship the sun, moon, and star?
No, but you as a member of the Nation of Islam, you believe Jesus was a prophet, right?
Well, I'm asking you a question though, and then we'll.
Okay.
Do you believe we worship the sun, moon, and star, or do we worship
No,
stone? Like,
I'm not saying that. No. I'm not saying that at all.
okay, what was your question?
My question was, why is it that you practice a religion that was basically forced on us like Christianity was?
What religion is that?
Islam.
So if Islam, we just went over the definition. Islam means what?
Right.
I just taught you Islam means what? What did I just teach you that Islam means? The meaning of that word.
Submission.
So submission to who? Submission to the white man or submission to God?
Submission to God.
So somebody forced submission to God on us?
Well, we had a sub-Arabic, sub-Arabian slave trade in our history, and if you read anywhere in our history of our race, okay, before that time period, we did not practice Islam. Before that time.
Okay, so you just keep contradicting yourself. Did you practice submission to God before the Quran was ever revealed? Did our people ever practice
before the
Abraham?
Before the Quran,
hold on. Did Abraham practice submission to God?
Did he practice submission to God? Yes.
Did Moses practice submission to God?
Yes.
Did Jesus practice submission to God?
Well, that's an interesting question.
You don't believe Jesus or Christ practiced submission to the Father?
Yeah, he did, but he was like Christ he was like God in the human form.
So you believe? Do you believe God is a ghost, or do you believe God is a man?
He's just a divine creator. I can't really say.
Is he a he?
Huh?
Is he a he?
Is he a he? I believe it's not a woman. It's not a woman. I'll say that. God is not.
You go by the Bible, right?
Correct.
All throughout the Bible, it don't say God is a man and God is a man of war and the Lord is his name. Like, it don't constantly say that Abraham says he's a man, Moses says he's a man, Jesus said he's a man.
He's a man, but he's not a man as in the form of how you and I would be.
Well, why does Genesis say that he created us in his exact image and in his exact likeness? Why would you say that? And we're exactly created in his exact image and likeness.
Because it would be he's a man in a spiritual form, not in a human form. Does that make sense now?
Absolutely not. He don't say that. The Bible don't ever say that. And I just quoted you what the Bible says. It says, "Let us meaning it was more than one. Whatever he is, there was more than one of him that said, let us make
Right.
man,
Right.
make man in our image and after our likeness. So not only did he have an image, meaning that he looked like this.
Yeah.
He also had a likeness, meaning that we're like him in every
Correct.
other way.
Correct.
But you say that he's not a man?
No, that's not what I said. I said that you kind of like misinterpreted what I was trying to tell you. I was saying that God is a man. It's not whether or not if he's a man or not. He's just not a man in a human form. That's all I was saying. He's not a man in a
What other kind of man does he say
Christ was
exists?
Christ was a man in a human form. But God, or whatever you want to call him.
So the Exodus 15:3 don't say that God is a man, that God is a man of war, and that God spoke to Moses face to face like a man speaks to his friend.
It absolutely does say that.
Then where does he say he's some other kind of man that you talking about?
About what we were just talking about?
Yeah, that and whatever else.
Okay. So as far as God being a man, yes, absolutely, and that's just off of the principle of Adam and Eve, man and woman. The man came from, the woman came from the man's rib. So yes, God is a man. He just not
Okay, so
not in the human.
Right, so once we establish that, I'm sure we'll come back to the relevance of that soon. So God is a man. We both agree on that. So is there any other questions that you want to ask me about the Nation of Islam, not being the right path, and Hebrew Israelite being the right?
What I don't know. I never read the what is it, the Quran, right?
I don't know. Like you saying that this is your way is better, but you saying you never read my way. You don't really know what my way is, but you saying your way is better.
I know a few people personally who practice the Nation of Islam.
Do you hear what I just said though, right? I'm not talking about people. We're talking about the doctrine. We're talking about the actual doctrine. So you say that your teaching and your way is better. This is what you said. Is better than the nation. The nation's way is not for black folks.
That's correct.
But your way is, right? So you're saying that based on no knowledge of our way, right?
I just know first. I just know that it doesn't. The origin, if anything, doesn't have the right origin, which I know for a fact the Nation of Islam doesn't. Then no, it's not correct.
You know, for a fact.
Look who founded it.
Who founded it? That's what I asked. Who founded
it? Muhammad.
Man, you feel like tapping out yet, or do you want to keep embarrassing yourself?
I'm not embarrassing myself.
Who founded Islam?
The nation, the Arab nation founded it. Really, I mean.
So what does the Quran say? What does the Quran say about who was the father of all the three monotheistic faiths? What does the Quran say? Who does Quran say is the father of
it? That I never read it, so I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I just know the Bible.
No, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing because you're publicly accusing somebody else and their faith of not being the way for black people when they have the greatest track record of success in reforming and redemption of black people in America, and your way doesn't, right? And you don't even know what our doctrine is, and you don't even know what the Quran says. For your information, the Quran says Abraham is the father of all three of these monotheistic faiths, and it tells us the religion of Abraham is what we follow, and that's what Prophet Muhammad follows. The religion of Abraham. What is the religion of Abraham?
The religion of Abraham?
What is the religion of Abraham? He was way before Muhammad and all of that.
Right. Well, Abraham was the
What was his
father.
religion?
I'm not sure what his religion was.
But you're sure that our way is the wrong way and your way is the right way.
Yeah, because you guys don't follow all the commandments though. You don't follow.
How do you know? How do you know?
Because,
you don't even know what the book say.
Because does the Nation of Islam practice the Day of
Don't ask me no questions. Tell me what we don't follow.
You don't practice the Day of Atonement.
We don't.
Number one.
What?
The Day of Atonement.
What is October 16th, the Million Man March 1995 all about? What is that? How old are you? When were you born?
96.
Oh, my God. All right, my brother. Peace and blessings, brother. Get your father or your teachers here. All right, peace. Man, bless our hearts. I admire the courage, foolish as it may be, of the youth. You know what I'm saying? I admire the courage, but we got to do a better job of informing and teaching our children so that they don't jump off the porch and run into a diesel like I could have been. I could have been that diesel that crushes your skull because you didn't know what you was playing with. But I appreciate, and I can respect and appreciate the courage, or, you know, the fearlessness. You're fearless for sure. Right? But get some knowledge to back up your fearlessness. Get some actual knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to back up your fearlessness. That's the age of the internet right there. That's YouTube courage. That's YouTube information right there. So, but that's what we do. And it wasn't his fault. That wasn't his fault. That was our generation's fault. That was his parents' fault. That was his parents' fault. We out here grown, whatever, down to 30, whatever years old, without the knowledge of self because of our parents. Our parents sold us out. Our parents rather go party and chase the bag than teach our children the knowledge of themselves, the knowledge of their real enemy, the knowledge of the time we living in, the warfare that's being waged on us, and what must be done. Somebody, the internet or movies or Spike Lee, Malcolm X movies and Netflix and all of that taught that young brother that we was the enemy. We was the wrong way. So it's a blessing to run into your elder, your big brothers and sisters that will have mercy on you. Because this enemy ain't going to have no mercy on you. They're going to send you out as a little missile, as a little crash dummy. And you're going to run into somebody, you know, God forbid, that ain't going to give you mercy. So be humble. Ask questions. Be humble. Ask questions. Don't jump off accusing, because you're going to run into the wrong elder. The wrong elder is not going to have that kind of mercy. You know what I'm saying? Because you jumping out accusing them, and they didn't sacrifice lives. They didn't bled, sweat, died for this thing that they represent, and you just jump out of nowhere talking about it ain't right, and whatever influence you got, you trying to steer it away from what they done gave their life for. They'll get you out of the way real quick. So our parents should have taught us better. So that's our fault. I'll take the blame. There's much more that I could have did to get to the youth so they wouldn't make them kind of mistakes. So I'll take the blame for that. That's why I be on my peers, my celebrity peers' head so hard, because they got the ear of millions and millions of our youth, and they'd rather be promoting drinking and smoking and strip clubs and all this kind of stuff, chasing a bag, instead of giving them this necessary warfare information and knowledge of self information.